Hello, welcome to yet another episode of Are You Convinced? Yes, we're still doing this after 15 episodes. How you doing, Damon?
I'm good. Listeners, he's only saying that because he's bitter because I interrupted his intro 3 times before he got started.
Yeah. He's trying to build up the energy, apparently, and really just put me off my game completely.
The look on James's face right now is just, why do I work with you? If you can call this work, it's more like torment and torture at this point.
You're unprofessional. You're just an animal. Performing monkey.
You can be replaced by a chimp.
Yes.
With thoughts. A chimp doesn't have opposable thumbs, James.
Well,
I don't know how that... It couldn't hold the microphone. Well, actually, it probably could.
It'd find a way.
It could hold 4 microphones if it wanted to.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, 1 in each foot, 1 in each hand.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That does add up. I count, yep,
There you
2
go.
feet, 2 hands.
A chimpanzee could simultaneously interview 4 people.
Well, I mean, I could too.
What do your feet look like?
Well, no, I have opposable thumbs, so I could hold 2 mics in each hand.
Touché. See, this is why we're top of the food chain and chimps.
We're definitely not the top of the podcast. Success stories.
This whole episode is a desperate cry for help.
Please, we've been locked in this house for how long have we been doing this podcast for?
I don't know. Every now and then we pick a topic for ourselves and it almost feels like we have to fulfill our end of a bargain to sort of get through it sometimes. And it's now we're the only people we're doing this for are ourselves and you guys listening.
All 3 of you.
Yeah, thank you for that. Really, we could have picked any other topic in the world, but we've chosen animals, James. We've just decided to delve into... And the reason why this is so hard, I didn't know there were that many animals out there.
There's a lot of animals. We are talking about Animal Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Let's give a shout out to one of our favourite animals.
Mishka!
Mishka,
the pet
you gorgeous
listener.
Thing.
I know. How are you, Mishka? You're being fed? Well, I hope you're being petted right now. If you're not, like if your owner's listening to this and she's not patting you, I hope she's getting up and running out of the house going, where is the cat? Yeah. Where is the damn cat? My cat used to get inside the Lazy Boys.
Okay.
Like there's a little time when she was a kitten, there's this tiny little gap underneath the Lazy Boy recliner, and she found a way to get up into the workings of the chair. It's a miracle we didn't, guillotine her or something. Didn't just cut her in half with the mechanisms. I think the chair was broken anyway, but she managed to find her way up in there.
Before or after the kitten got into it? Broken.
Oh, no, before broken.
Okay.
Mercifully, yeah. That's it. It's not going back. It feels like something spongy is in there.
And my chair's meowing.
We thought we'd lost her is the thing. Yeah, like Mum and I were out in the streets. We're looking down drain pipes. We're knocking on neighbours' doors because she was only like a couple of months old.
Yeah, okay.
And we're convinced this inside kitten has just, run off into the night and it's been hit by a car and all this. And the thing was hiding inside of a friggin' chair.
Jeez.
Moral of the story is, cats are bastards. Don't get a cat. But Mishka, you're great. We like you, Mishka.
You're our friend.
You're our friend, Mishka. You're pretty good. Okay.
We are talking Animal Kingdom. Yes?
Yes, we are. Yep. Well, listeners, we'll be brutally honest. We've got some facts here that we'd love to just sort of impress each other with. Should we just go with the facts?
Are you going to be impressed by some facts?
Yeah, let's do. I'm ready to be impressed. Or should we go back to that website we were on before with it should have been called literally the ugliest things in existence.
Yeah, I had the star-nosed mole.
Yeah.
I see this thing from time to time. This thing is creepy. It almost doesn't even have a face. It's just like this weird octopus thing on the front of its snout. It's
it's got tentacles sticking out where its nose should be.
Like a face only a mother could love, really.
And even then.
Yeah, just questionable, debatable.
That's right. The mother still looks at it from time to time and just goes, I don't, there must be a father.
You know what's one that always creeps me out a little bit?
Go on.
The blobfish.
Yeah. I love the blobfish.
The first time I ever actually saw this thing in existence was, well, not in real life, but
I was going to say, have you seen
movie,
one?
No.
Huh.
In Men in Black 2.
Yeah.
Remember there's a blobfish and it's an alien?
Oh, okay. No,
it's either number 2 or number 3.
Maybe I've been trying to repress both of those movies from my memory for a long time now. Men in Black 2 was not a good movie.
But yeah, there's an alien that is a blobfish.
That's cool.
And at the time I just thought, oh, that's a cool looking alien.
Yeah, well,
it's actually a thing.
It looks like albino sad Shrek.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? It's weird. And we looked at pictures of it before. I've always seen this thing and assumed it was small.
It's massive.
Goldfish size. It's huge. There's a picture of a guy holding it with both hands. It's ridiculous. But they're really interesting. They're actually super, super endangered.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know the specifics, but they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fact.
Maybe because they're so ugly.
Well, another face only a mother could love, and it has a really creepy face. Like,
Doesn't
I
it?
assume that's actually its real face,
Yeah.
where its eyes and it looks like a human face.
Well, we looked at a bunch of ugly-looking animals. One of them was the goblin shark.
Yeah.
With the one with a really big long nose and the mouth underneath.
Yeah.
The problem with it was, though, it was dead and out of water and dried out, so it looked emaciated. And I said to you, anything looks horrible and ugly out of its natural enviround.
Yeah.
So maybe
all shriveled up.
Yeah.
Like I look like that when I get out of the bath.
Oh, self-deprivation. Maybe the blobfish looks sleek and slender and beautiful and streamlined. I doubt it. But like belting along on high currents and stuff. I don't know. It's still got this hanging nose though. Like,
Yeah, you only ever see it outside of water. Like, I would love to see this thing in its natural habitat.
swimming around, yeah. But then we also looked through, we kept looking through ugliest creatures that God's ever put on the planet. What was the other one? The naked mole rat.
Yeah.
These things are actually kind of weirdly popular as pets in some parts of the world.
It looked like Rachel's cat from Friends.
Oh, that thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And I swear when it's hissing at me, it's saying, Rachel! Rachel!
Exactly.
Don't worry, guys, it's not a cat.
But that's how it is. It's like shaved. Like,
Yeah.
it looks shaved.
It does.
But that's
It
its
looks
skin.
even worse. It looks like it never had hair, and that's somehow creepier. Like when you get a really bad haircut versus someone that's like bald, proper bald,
Yeah, okay.
and you can tell the difference. You go, oh no, you're going to grow that back one day, but you look at a bald guy and you go, wow, there is nothing there, is there? Like I can see the bones moving in your head. It's same with the mole rat's skin hangs off of it.
Yeah.
It's just interesting fact on them. I know I've rambled a little bit so far today. Do you want to hear some interesting facts?
Please.
There is a theory, and I think I
I
brought
just
it up.
said fact. Now you're going with theories. Come
Well,
on.
there's facts to support the theory.
Okay.
Okay. The fact is there is a theory
Yeah.
that humans,
Nice loophole.
right? Yeah, I got good at that. There's a theory that humans evolved at least partially aquatically.
Yeah, okay.
Have I told you about this before?
We've discussed this, yes.
I reckon I brought it up in episode 1 in cryptozoology.
Potentially.
Yeah. So there's the idea that we spent at least part of our evolution in water or in coastal environments. Now, to sort of prove that even half right, you would need to find creatures that have made similar transitions and are also similarly hairless. The naked mole rat is the total opposite. People that try to shoot down that aquatic ape theory, as it's called, look at the naked mole rat and say these are creatures that live in the deepest deserts of Somaliland, and some of them never even see water their entire lives, and they've adapted a totally hairless lifestyle for living underground.
Okay.
But then proponent fans,
Yep.
people who like the aquatic ape theory, have hit back at that and said, yes, but it's like cognitive dissonance. You're capable of holding two opinions at the same time. It's possible that two different species evolved the same trait for two comparable and different reasons.
Yeah.
Like digging through sand ostensibly has similar issues to swimming through water, for example. I struggle to come up with them off the top of my head, but
it could have happened for different reasons,
Exactly.
but the same result.
Yeah, they're ugly is more my point. They're hideous.
Just like humans.
Yeah, they
Well,
look,
at least us.
they actually look like one very specific part of the male anatomy, which I'm not going to go into because this is a family show. But suffice to say, they're
Adam's apple.
they look like elbow skin, like all over saggy, droopy elbow skin.
But only male elbow skin.
That's right.
Not sexy female.
No,
elbow
that's
skin.
right. No. I would never bring down the female. James, can you talk for a bit? What are you going to bring up?
So, did you know what the largest animal ever is?
Your mum.
You know what? Like, are you going to take this seriously? Do you actually...
I hope she's not listening. I haven't met her, but I'm sure she's lovely.
Can you apologize?
Yeah, I apologize. I apologize profusely. You are not the largest animal in the world. You're the second largest to the blue whale. No, I withdraw. I withdraw all jokes about your mum. Just
Wow.
don't set up your mama jokes like that, James. Just don't do it. You get one free hit at my mum at some point this episode. You get to make one your mama joke at some point this episode.
But I'm not that cruel. Not not that completely heartless.
I've completely derailed you now, haven't I? You don't
Well,
even look at the script. Your mum's lovely. I apologise. She's great. She's fine. She's excellent. And I apologise unreservedly. What is the largest animal on Earth?
It is the blue whale.
It is the blue whale,
yes.
isn't it?
And that's the largest animal ever to exist as well. It's currently
Really?
alive and the largest to have ever existed.
That we know of.
Yeah.
Which is, we both have a passing interest in the fossil history and dinosaurs and prehistoric life. Part of me sort of thinks it's only a matter of time until we find that one aquatic creature that was, that eclipsed the blue whale, and that'd be incredible. The Cloverfield monster. I'm hanging out for the day that we find the Cloverfield monster buried somewhere.
At the bottom of the ocean, the
That's
Mariana
right.
Trench.
Exactly right. Yeah.
The blue whale's tongue weighs as much as an adult elephant. A full adult elephant.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
You hear these facts and you just
colossal.
and you go, oh yeah, fair enough. But like, I've seen a full-grown African elephant. They're big, man.
They're pretty large.
They're big, and that's just the tongue. You know?
I mean, the tongue, I wouldn't say the tongue's necessarily as big as an adult elephant. It just
Weighs
weighs
as
as
much.
much.
Yeah.
Which is a lot.
That's crazy. And considering the tongue, I mean, the tongue's an important words, James.
The tongue is an important body part.
Body part. Thank
Yes.
you. I was going to say organ, and then I'm like, is it an organ? It's a muscle.
Yeah.
I think it's a muscle.
Yeah.
It's an important muscle for marine animals
Yes.
because controlling it means you can control airflow and block out water from going down your throat.
Yeah. Well, that's always handy when
It
you
is.
live underwater.
Another hint towards aquatic origins of humans.
Okay.
That we have greater tongue control and vocal cord control than any other primates.
Oh, there you go.
Why would we need that?
I don't know.
Presumably to make podcasts and
Yeah.
talk on the internet.
Really
but
bad podcast, yeah. And insult my mum.
oh, mate, I'm sorry. I'm sorry again, Mrs. James's mum.
But while we're on the topic of sort of marine animals,
Yep, go on.
great white sharks are capable
Yes.
of detecting a drop of blood in 25 gallons of water.
Yeah.
I mean that's imperial, so I don't know how that translates to metric.
If you put a gallon jug in front of me though,
you-
perfectly clear jug, and then you dropped blood in it, I could track that blood too. Like I could see it disperse amongst the water. That's not that
but
impressive.
like not
Next
visually
fact.
through smell,
Yeah,
and it
sure.
can even sense tiny amounts of blood from up to 3 miles away.
Oh my god,
So
they're crazy.
I was talking to you before the podcast started about
Oh,
a
yeah.
shark creature,
Yep,
one of your favorites. You have a keen interest.
I do. Yep,
Yeah. The
Yep.
megalodon.
The megalodon.
Yes.
And
this
you-
thing is just
you-
insane.
You said that thing that burns me up.
I wasn't gonna pick on you.
No, go on. I mean, I picked on your mum, so why not bring up my little weird hair trigger here? Go on. What did you say about megalodon?
Well, it's extinct, but is it?
Yes. Yes, it is. So the thing is, like, every now and then, and the Discovery Channel's got a lot to own up for here. Because every time Shark Week is around, there's some weird mockumentary that comes out about megalodons. Are they still out there? And all of America watches it and goes, was that real or was that a dramatized? And the fact that you can't tell the difference speaks volumes for our culture nowadays. Yeah. But megalodon is 100% extinct. If it wasn't extinct, it would have, eaten the Titanic. Do you know what I mean? It's the way great white sharks hunt, and we've learned this now, like specialized hunters, they attack from below. And they reckon that megalodon, the size of this creature, and they know that it almost exclusively fed on whales.
Yeah.
They found a massive correlation between megalodon, bite marks, and extinct whales.
Well, didn't they actually find a whale vertebrae with a
They did.
megalodon tooth in it?
Tooth in it, yeah, that's exactly right. Now, the theory being the best way to hunt a whale would be to come up from underneath and just barrel into it, you know, and take huge chunk bite
That's
out
how
of
I'd do it.
That's it, yeah. Well, that's that old thing about how do you eat an elephant?
Yeah, one bite at a time.
One bite at a time, exactly. And that's how megalodon would have eaten whales.
Yeah.
Now, so if we were sailing boats around on the surface of the water, something large enough for a megalodon to confuse as a whale, we would never have taken to the seas as a species. You know, our big cruise liners out there would have bite marks in them from megalodon. We would know if they're out there.
Yeah.
They were surface hunters. Get that smug look off your face. You've triggered me and now you're happy about it. You know? I did say I had some interesting facts about megalodon though.
Yes, go on.
We have no idea what it looked like.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
We just assume.
we assume.
We don't even have a full
Nope.
skeleton.
No, because shark skeletons don't fossilize. They're made out of cartilage. They lack the calcium deposits to fossilize properly.
Yeah, okay.
So all we've got are their teeth and jaws.
Yeah.
And because of the comparisons with great whites, like they're very, very similar. The assumption naturally is that it's just a giant great white.
Yeah, okay.
But I remember watching something very recently, maybe within the last sort of 6 months, where someone on YouTube was talking about this new scientific theory that it may have looked a lot more like other deep sea large creatures. The larger a creature gets, basically, to compensate for body weight and stuff, a lot of the extremities shrink.
Okay.
So they reckon it might not have had the big pronounced dorsal fin like great whites do, and it might have had more of a snub nose.
Okay.
Which also makes sense that if you're going to be high speed swimming up from the depths to tackle a whale, you don't want a great big protruding nose in front that could be smashed into. Yeah. So the model that they painted this megalodon looked bizarre. Like, it looked really big and round with very small fins, and it's sort of strange. I'll have to find a picture and show you later. Yeah. It's a weird looking beastie. Can I hit you with another? We're really going with the aquatic theme here, but the ocean is full of all sorts of strange and weird and wonderful things.
Many creatures we haven't discovered because we've only discovered like 10% of the ocean.
Something like that.
Something just ridiculous.
Well, the sad thing is we're probably going to make them all extinct before we do find them. All clownfish, all of them, are born male.
Yeah. Are they all born comedians?
No.
Tell us a joke.
No, because clowns are... I've got a great joke. But clowns are anti-comedy, man. Clowns suck comedy from the room. But they'll only change sex to become a dominant female.
Okay. Dominant female,
yeah. So like one male in a population of clownfish will just look around and go, do you know what? Someone needs to control this circus. I'm just going to become the boss. Yeah. And sheds his male appendage, becomes female. He goes, right, I'm in charge now, boys. And they all go, oh, you must be, you're female. And that's just how it works in the society.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Oysters are also actually able to change their gender many times during their life.
Really? There you go. Yeah. They're delicious.
Do you like oysters?
Yeah. No, they're okay. I say that. Actually, something I've been meaning to try. I'm not huge on them, but I've been meaning to try Guinness and oysters.
Okay.
Apparently, it's amazing.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you don't like Guinness.
Your word isn't valid yet because you haven't tried it.
No, true. Grizzly bears have been clocked running at up to 30 miles per hour.
That's a lot of fast.
That's faster than you.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't be cool with that. I went walking with my cousin in Yosemite.
Really?
And walking along the trail and maybe 20, 30 meters away, saw a bear cub. Yeah, so that's something you don't want to see.
No, that's right. Yeah.
That means mama bear's somewhere close by.
What did you do?
We kept walking very quickly.
Good idea. Giving no indication of stopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were okay. I'm still here.
That's good that you didn't do the dumb tourist thing and stand there taking photos. Yeah. That's interesting.
I was kind of taking photos behind me as we keep walking.
Over your shoulder as you're going selfie mode. The only animal that I've got so close to that I could see its young in the wild from a path, I went down to Cradle Mountain years ago when I was taking a break from uni, and there's a path that you walk along there called Wombat Valley.
Okay.
And they call it that because you're guaranteed to see at least 2 or 3 wombats.
Okay.
You know when you go through a park and people will say, oh, you probably should see a koala. They're out there. And you don't. Yeah. Or like, kangaroos sort of come down and you might. Yeah. But the guy says to me, like, I 100% hand on heart, you'll see 3. Like, not 1, 3. I ended up seeing like 8. Okay. It's crazy. They're just like sheep just up and down this valley, just walking around, munching the grass. Yeah. It's amazing. Really. Got another fact?
The howler monkey is the loudest land animal.
You don't need to tell me that.
I guess that's where its name comes from. Its call can be heard from 3 miles away.
Yeah, we know that. We live in Adelaide. That means something. If you're not from Adelaide, that does mean something. In Adelaide Zoo, they're not howler monkeys though either. They're siamangs, I think they are. The ones that are right in the middle of the zoo. Okay. Monkeys with white faces. And they reckon when they first moved in, people in the office buildings in the city of Adelaide could hear them howling across the river. Yeah. Crazy loud. Yeah.
So maybe a cousin or a relative.
Oh, almost certainly. Yeah, almost certainly related. Let's have a look through. Oh, here we go. The flying snake can glide in the air for distances of up to 330 feet and can even make turns in the air.
There are many things in that sentence I'm not okay with. Start with flying and snake.
Yeah, I love the fact that that's how that sentence starts and it gets scarier from that.
Yeah, let's give this thing wings.
Yeah, why not? Oh, there's that great
glide.
There's that great biblical tale. Do you know why, according to the Bible and Genesis, do you know why snakes slither on the ground?
No.
It was punishment for convincing Eve to bite into the forbidden fruit.
Okay.
Yeah. So God said, "And you shall slither on your body for the rest of your days."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it clearly hasn't held
legs before.
Clearly hasn't held the snake back.
No.
Clearly they're flying now, for God's sake.
Screw you, God. Screw you.
So there you go. They now live in the water. They can fly. They can tunnel. Yeah. Wow.
Fleas can jump distances 100 times their body length. Yeah, I mean, which isn't very far.
No, exactly.
But if we could do that.
Not impressive. Next
we
fact.
could jump 100 times our body length.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
We'd be like the Hulk in that terrible Ang Lee version. We'd be like Bruce Banner all painted up.
Over mountains, over buildings.
Oh, here you go. Snow leopards can leap up to 50 feet in one jump.
Wow, okay.
50 feet is a...
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. You're American. What's the...
It's like almost 3... Oh, well, 1 foot is 30 centimeters.
Okay.
So just over 3 foot to a meter.
So like 160 meters. That's not... That can't be right. 50 feet. No, hang on. What am I doing?
50 divided by 3.
I was thinking of 150 feet. Never mind. Wow.
So like 18 or something.
I might as well, with that dose of maths, I might as well have said snow leopards can fly.
Wow. Yeah, okay.
Maths is not my strong
we
point.
Should not do conversion. Can America just please just go metric?
Just convert.
Abandon you know what? Maybe we'll consider something like swapping sides of the road or something outrageous like that.
I mean, we won't, but we'll tell them.
We'll tell you.
We'll tell them.
But please, metric.
I know. Metric. Just come on. It makes life so much easier.
Have
you seen the map? There's a great map that surfaces online every now and then to talk about like places that use the imperial system. It's like America, including Hawaii and Alaska, and then like 3 African places or something.
Like 2 or 3 tiny little countries.
Yeah, and you know the GDP of that is lesser than a Hollywood movie. Go back to last week's episode to find out the root of that joke.
Where we discussed the GDPs of small African nations.
Sao Tome and Principe, the Comoros, and Guyana.
I was convinced.
Baby giraffes can stand within half an hour of birth.
Well, okay. That is actually impressive.
Yes.
A cheetah can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3 seconds.
See, I thought it was just going to be from 0 to 60.
Yeah.
Like cheetahs are just really excitable. You know? We've all met that guy that's just like, yeah, wow, he went from like 0 to 100, like just like that, you know.
Just completely off the hook.
I made one your mama joke and he was like at me. He was just jumping on me. Ostriches can cover 16 feet in a single stride. So that's got to be like 200 meters, right? Like
by your math, yeah.
By my maths, yeah.
So that's about 5 meters. Yeah.
Sorry, I did something really dumb then. I nearly read it out. So we're reading off a screen, guys. We're reading these facts off a screen because we're lazy.
I mean, I've got paper. I printed mine.
Shush. Ostriches can cover 16 feet in a single stride. And I looked away to look at you. And I looked back at the screen and started reading the tail end of another fact. So what I was going to read out, let me make sure I've got this right. I was about to read out, ostriches can cover 16 feet in a single stride, which allow them to see nearly 360 degrees around themselves. Wait, what? Hang on.
We just combined animal facts?
Yeah, I did.
No, but can we do that for the rest of the
Well, that was a fact. That was a fact about goats. Goats and sheep have rectangular pupils, which allow them to see nearly 360
rectangular
degrees.
pupils.
Have you ever looked at a goat in the eye?
No.
It's terrifying.
Goats are terrifying themselves. I wouldn't get near a goat.
Well, what's this fad? The internet's obsessed with goats lately. I know, like, baby goats are the cutest things on the planet.
Baby anything other than humans is the cutest thing on the planet.
Wow. Yeah, okay.
You know, like a puppy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you want to hold my baby? No, I'll break it. You won't drop it. No, I like willingly.
Like baby crocodile, and you just go,
look at it. It's nibbling on my finger.
Damon, should we get into it?
I kind of want to merge more animal facts. Let's see if I can do. Hang on, let's see if I can do it. A wolf can eat up to 20 pounds of meat, and is so sedentary, algae grows on its back.
Well, just remember, people, he's just making this.
This is a great. This is a great game. I don't want to launch into the topic yet. Flying fish reach speeds of 37 miles per hour during winter hibernation and still thaw out and survive. I'm I'm not telling you the other half of these facts. I'm having too much fun. Technically, only males are peacocks. They can replace internal organs, including stomach lining, enzymes, so they can liquefy their prey and drink up their remains. That was 3 facts I merged, James. You didn't see that coming.
I'm so confused right now.
Should we get into the topics?
We should. What are you talking about this week?
I'm talking about how much pandas suck.
Actually, sorry to interrupt you. Before that, you know how sometimes you like to spring things on me?
Yes.
From time to time?
Yes.
I actually, since we're doing Animal Kingdom, I thought
what are you doing?
Might spring.
Why are you opening that door? Hang on.
I thought I might spring something on you. You play along, won't you?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, he's opened a door in his house. He's handed me a bandana. It's a stylish bandana.
All right, you keep talking. I'm just going to grab this
I'm going to
out.
put this. You want me to put this on my eye?
Yeah.
Over my eyes?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll edit out this boring bit in a second.
No, you keep going. So yeah, I've got a bandana for him. He's going to put the bandana on. Make sure he can't see anything. I'm going to pull something out. I've got a box here. All right, Damon.
I found the mic.
You found the mic. All right, I'm going to just... careful.
James, I'm not enjoying this. I'm trying to get out there.
So, Damon.
Okay, I can hear the box opening.
Got the box open.
You're going to make me stick... This is... Okay, I'm not a celebrity. Get me out of here.
All right, Damon. Just reach your hand slowly forward.
Is the mic near my mouth?
Yes,
by the way,
you're good.
I'm not talking to
so
nowhere.
Just, drop it. You feel the box there?
There's the box.
So I'm just going to...
This is...
Slowly reach in there and just reach in slowly and feel around.
I'm not happy with this at all. What have you got in here? There's something kind of furry in there.
Do you want to pick it up?
No, not with one hand and blindfolded. That's a terrible idea. Did I poke something in the eye then? Or
go, just reach in and pick it up.
I don't really
want
to reach in and pick it up, James. What is it? Is it alive? Is it real? It's not, is it? Is it? I really
this
can't
is
tell
fantastic.
without looking. This is awful. I can't. No, I don't want it. I don't want to grab it. It's
okay, hold on.
It's furry.
You stay there.
It felt weirdly warm.
All right, all right, sit down. So I'm going to take this out of the box. Careful, I'm going to set the box down.
Okay.
All right, I'm just going to put it right here.
That thing wasn't alive, was it, that I was touching, was it?
All right, it's in front of you.
Okay.
On the table. Just take off the blindfold.
Okay. Oh, that was awful. That was terrible. Okay. That was like the time I got you to read the script from The Room and you didn't know what was happening. And
this is fantastic.
Jesus.
He's just...
I thought
he has pulled out a stuffed panda toy.
I thought you'd got a pet. I genuinely thought, like, oh, man, he's got a puppy. And, like, he's going to open the door and a Labrador is going to come running out or something. And then you're like, just feel around in the box. And, like, he's got a rabbit in here and I'm accidentally going to, like, crush it with my palm or something. Just pick it up. Okay, one-handed, and then like, no, not by there, that's its throat. You know, like I'm really waiting to kill some poor little pet.
No, it's just a stuffed panda.
All right, it is. It's a little stuffed panda, and it's
wearing its Chinese New Year outfit. Actually,
there you go. It's the year of the dog.
Yes,
actually, this year. Yeah. Jesus.
So while you have the panda there, do you want to?
Yeah, I'm going to say this whole thing to its face. You suck. Pandas suck. They flat out suck. They do. And like, don't turn off. Listen, please. Like, if you're going, no, I love pandas. They're so cute. We got to conserve them. Just listen to my whole argument, please. They are evolutionary dead ends with fat bums, bags under their eyes, and not a lot of brains in their heads.
That's me.
They exclusively eat bamboo despite having the digestive tracts of carnivores. The females are only fertile for literally a few days of the year. They will only ever raise one young at a time, even if they have twins.
Well, okay.
So they'll just abandon one of the twins to its fate.
And that's if they have young.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, James. And should they live a full life and die of an old age, which, you know, through hunting and deforestation and stuff, they're not. They may only ever have between 5 to 8 cubs. Now, that's actually pretty impressive for a large terrestrial carnivore, which eats plants. Jeez. Assuming they don't pass away in infancy, that means that if the 2,000 pandas left in the wild, and that's assuming every one of those was a fertile female who has been fertilized, the most we could expect an increase from 2,000 to about 16,000 if every panda left in the wild suddenly had a baby, and every one of them lived, and they all had 8 babies.
Okay.
My maths is bad. We've established this, but basically what I'm saying is, even if every panda left in the world right now was a fertile breeding female and had its full litter of kids, like its full maximum amount of pups, it still wouldn't be enough to save the species.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, humans have absolutely had a hand in the pandas' demise over the years. No doubt we have. I mean, illegal trafficking, Chinese medicine is now synonymous for poaching, loss of habitat due to farmland, and the rate of growth in China means that every day new forests are being torn down. Actually, China's actually doing really, really well. We knock China a lot in terms of conservation and environmental degradation, but they've now hit a point where they're starting to peter out and go the other way. They're now the leading users of solar and tidal power in the world, for example.
Okay.
They're shutting down more coal-fired power stations than they built during their progressive uptimes. So, a bit of credit to China here. But that still means that their pandas, are dangerously low levels. Like nearly 2,000 in the wild is tiny. So it's all doom and gloom for the panda at the moment, because there's only 2,000 left in the wild. They're notoriously hard to breed. They're slow and lethargic, so even if they want to get up and make a baby, they're too shagged out to shag. The reality is conservation efforts, which do work, by the way. We have seen an overall increase in panda numbers since 2003 by about 16.8%. They cost an astronomical amount of money. When a zoo gets a panda, usually a breeding pair in inverted commas, they never actually own the animal, but lease it from China at a cost of $400,000 a year.
Wow.
Yep.
That's why it costs extra to go to Adelaide Zoo.
Apparently.
To go to the panda bit.
Apparently. That doesn't include the cost of food, zoo operating costs, and the Viagra to get the panda boy to want to make more pandas. Big thanks to Al Jazeera for those facts. Not too far away from us, James, in the city of Adelaide, we have 2 pandas, Wang Wang and Funi, which cost the zoo, are you ready for this? $5.18 million borrowed to be paid back over 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that 5.8 million
just for the pandas.
But that's for the whole 10 years period.
No, they're paying. Yeah.
Oh, they're paying it off for 10 years.
They're paying it off over a 10-year deal. I don't know how long we've got the pandas for. Presumably for the full 10 years.
Yeah. Okay.
And the idea is that we're paying $5.18 million just for the animals.
Yeah.
And then we've got to foot the cost of feeding them ourselves, housing them ourselves, keeping the lights on, which is a huge endeavor as it is.
Yeah.
We're pouring a lot of money into animals that won't even have sex to save themselves from extinction because they eat the wrong food, right? And they're too lethargic to get it up. Pandas are crap. They suck. Now, the average listener right now is hearing me say all of this and think, what is this guy's deal? If we save one panda from extinction, it's got to be worth it. Well, no, because if the rest are extinct, then it can't breed. But look, maybe it's worth trying to save species, and it's always worth trying to save endangered species. I actually have a background in environmental management. That was my first university degree. But there are many in the conservation game wondering, if there was no human involvement at all, maybe pandas, which by best estimates only evolved about 2 to 3 million years ago from carnivorous bears, might not even last on their own anyway. In fact, in 2009, Chris Packham, a wildlife expert from the BBC, stated that we should pull the plug on panda conservation because their habitat is not great enough to sustain them, declaring, let them go with a degree of dignity. Okay. It's a confronting statement to hear, isn't it, from a wildlife expert, to just let them die. It's the polar opposite of what all conservation is about. But he's not alone. This kind of opinion is becoming more and more popular. But why? Pandas are cute and they inspire us to do more. It's the figurehead of the World Wildlife Fund, for God's sake. As Christine Delamore's National Geographic article from 2013 stated, pandas are political animals. They inspire people to do more, like a good politician should, And China's actually really, really protective of every panda in the world. They see it as a sort of a national tragedy if they're not doing enough to try and conserve them, right? Mark Brody, Senior Advisor for Conservation and Sustainable Development at China's Wolong Nature Reserve, in the same article, was quoted as saying, Bemoaning that too much money is spent on captive panda programs is akin to shooting the panda messenger. And this particular messenger, among the most beloved of all animals, has the magnetic power to galvanize greater public and political support for increased funding for a wide range of conservation programs. However, I would argue that this is absolutely not the case. Basically, the argument he's putting forth is that pandas as a figurehead inspire people to donate and work in and be active for conservation.
Yeah.
I would argue there's actually a net negative effect by having cute animals as worthy of saving. And I'll give you a couple of examples. Have you ever heard of the Ethiopian wolf?
Maybe if I saw a picture.
Sure. No, you probably haven't. And there's less than 500 in the wild.
Okay.
Okay. Much less than pandas. Little to no breeding programs. I Googled, couldn't find a single breeding program for Ethiopian wolves in the world. The pangolin. Have you ever heard of the pangolin? Yep.
I have.
Yep. I hope the average listener has, because it's the most trafficked animal on the planet.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen a pangolin, it's kind of a cross between like an aardvark and a pine cone, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
It's like an animal with big platy scales on its back.
If you've ever played Pokemon and you caught a Sandshrew or a Sandslash.
It looks like that in real life, exactly. And the plates on its back, ironically enough, I guess, in Chinese medicine, yet again, they're considered everything from an aphrodisiac to a cure for heart disease, and just like rhino
Fix
horn.
everything, yeah.
Yeah, fix everything. Most people would never have heard of them. I'm glad you've heard of that. Adelaide Zoo is not borrowing $5 million to house a breeding pair.
Yeah.
Okay. The African ass, no joke, the grandfather of the modern day donkey, is practically extinct in the wild. Less than a few hundred are left, and to look, most people would think it's just a donkey. But what's my point in all of this? I mean, we can save more than one type of animal, right? Surely. Well, yeah, but it takes massive amounts of effort and energy and awareness to preserve the numbers of critically endangered animals. In 2011, University of York environmental scientist Murray Rudd conducted an online survey of 583 conservation scientists and their views on managing biodiversity. 60% of respondents agreed that criteria should be established for deciding which species to abandon in order to focus on saving others. Conservationists are saying that our efforts can only be concentrated on certain species, and we need to pick criteria on what species get protection. Isn't that's one of the most alarming things I'd ever read. I don't know how you feel about that, but as well-known cultural icons, both in China and worldwide, pandas are usually top of mind when this conversation is brought up. Why pandas, James? They're cute, mate. They have star power. The water mouse, Ethiopian water mouse, only known rodent species, to be fully aquatic, nearly extinct. It's not cute.
Okay.
It's a flippin' rat, Sharks. Humans hunt more sharks out of the oceans than most other carnivores in the world. But they're scary. They kill people. We've all seen Jaws. Wolves are just dogs that take sheep, and asses are just donkeys. The biggest problem I have with pandas, James, aside from the fact that they seemingly don't want to shag themselves out of extinction, is that they, or in absolute fairness, the humans in charge of their marketing, have turned conservation efforts into a serious popularity contest. Most conservationists are now actively trying to push the message of habitat conservation so we can let the pandas live and die and grow old and breed, hopefully, without any kind of human involvement. But that's not as sexy as a pair of pandas to put in your local zoo. James, I don't hate pandas. And I'm sorry that this wasn't as funny and as ranty as it could have been, but there's a real serious message to this, and I feel really passionately about this. I don't hate pandas. They're just poor little fat carnivores who only eat plants. But I despair for the world when we actually need to ask which animals are worthier of saving than others. And the fact that the popularity contest around cute and adorable creatures actually comes into our thinking when we talk about conservation. Just quickly, before I ask if you're convinced, I really, really want to thank a couple of sources. I couldn't have wrote this without... here you go. Names. I got them.
Okay.
I got the names this week. Thanks to Aliyah... I'm going to get this wrong. Shugtai, Vienna Maglio from Al Jazeera, and their April 7th article, What is the True Cost of a Panda? Christine Delamore from National Geographic, wrote an article on the 28th of August 2013, Is Breeding Pandas in Captivity Worth It? And Frontier Gap's 4th of January 2015 article, Do Cute Animals Get Conservation Preference? James, have I convinced you that the idea of pandas sucks?
No.
Nah, fair enough. It's a really unpalatable idea, and it's a really horrible thing to really start thinking about.
But you do raise certainly an excellent point about conservation, and obviously we're faced with that issue of having to focus our efforts. I certainly like the idea of habitat conservation as opposed to specific species conservation. And like zoos have a purpose.
Yep.
I mean, they educate, allow people to do research. They do have some conservation effects, but
certainly more. Sorry to cut off on your train of thought, but certainly more so nowadays than ever before.
Yeah.
Zoos are changing their view from put animals on display to conserve and educate, as you
and
say.
That's what I was going to say. Is zoos really kind of suck when that's all it is the. I mean, you get the animals on display and it brings people in, and obviously that brings money, but it's just not the right way to do it. There are things like the Monado Zoo, open air sort of zoo, which is a lot more beneficial to the animals. More natural sort of
largest zoo, and I'm going to get this wrong. It's either the largest zoo in the world or the largest zoo in the southern hemisphere.
Okay.
Either way, it's huge. Yeah. I went there recently and did the bus tour around the place. Yeah. They've got animals that are completely extinct in the wild.
Yeah, okay.
Living there. Like African, is it the oryx? That, the white antelope with the big long horns?
Okay.
They've got a certain species of those that are completely extinct in their homeland.
Yeah.
And it's to the point where they're not even going to reintroduce them. Because they go, as soon as we put them back, they're going to be hunted back to extinction.
Yeah.
There's 2 in our zoo, and we reckon there might be 4 or 5 in another zoo. Basically, when these guys go, that's the animal extinct.
Yeah, okay.
But no one's heard of them, Jim.
Yeah.
Everyone's heard of pandas, and will happily put a $1 coin in a fake panda head at the zoo and watch it trickle down into the big donation thing in its belly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of this idea of popularizing endangered animals, and if they don't have sales appeal behind them, then people just don't bother. Remember the blobfish we were talking about? Critically endangered.
Yeah.
Horribly critically endangered. Most people, if you put a poster of that up and said save the blobfish, would just walk past going, how ugly is that?
Yeah.
I guess I'm more despairing as to the psyche of people and where we put our efforts.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. You certainly raise an excellent point, and I'm glad you brought that to us.
These arguments are worth having.
Yeah.
Deep breath, and you scared the absolute bejesus out of me with this thing. I thought it was like a rabbit, because I'm stroking something like vaguely. It was sitting in your laundry, and it's obviously warmed up in a box. It's warmed up during the day, and I'm going, it's sort of fluffy, and you're like, just pick it up. I'm like, what, by the head? I'll grab it by the first thing I grab and just pull it out of the box.
I'm glad I was able to get you for all the times you've thrown stuff at me.
This guy, for all the times I was grossly unprofessional, this guy's going to live right here on my laptop. There you go.
So Damon.
Yes, mate.
In sub-Saharan Africa, there exists an incredibly deadly creature.
Are you starting your topic? Or
I am.
Or do you just want to tell me something? Okay.
So this animal can reach over 5 meters in length and weigh up to 1,800 kilograms.
Is it some kind of flying snake?
It's native to rivers and swamps. It is responsible for killing around 3,000 people every year.
Crocodiles.
It's a herbivore.
That doesn't compute.
I'm talking about the hippopotamus.
Ah, now it all makes sense.
More specifically, I'm talking about the hippopotamus amphibius, or common hippopotamus.
What's the other type of hippopotamus called?
Pygmy hippopotamus.
Oh, but not like hippopotamus also, by the way, amphibious? Or because they both are.
Yeah. That's what we got.
Pygmy hippos are super cute.
They are.
There was a video of a baby one that was born in a zoo recently, and it's like the cutest thing ever.
Hippos just generally kind of have a strange sort of cute...
Don't they?
It's the
big cheeks and the big eyes, and you're right, they're terrifying.
These things are terrifying. So as I mentioned, the common hippopotamus is mostly herbivorous, semi-aquatic mammal, living around rivers, lakes, and swamps in sub-Saharan Africa. Despite its similar appearance to pigs and other even-toed ungulates, the closest living relatives to hippos are actually Cetaceans.
Whales and dolphins.
Yeah, whales, dolphins, porpoises.
Mm-hmm.
They diverged from a common ancestor around 55 million years ago.
Ambulocetus.
So, yeah, that surprised me.
Yeah. I sorry if I can cut in. I did watch a YouTube video very recently about the evolution of cetaceans.
Cetaceans,
Yeah. And it is fascinating. Like tiny little shrew-like animals that just started roaming around in waterways, and all of a sudden we got the blue whale and the sperm whale. And stuff.
Okay.
It's insane maths. Like you just every now and then you give props to young Earth creationists because you're like, yeah, you're right. Like the scientific version sounds way too out there. You guys
Just
must be
insane.
correct.
Yeah.
I keep telling you, whales came from shrews.
So the name hippopotamus comes from ancient Greek. Potamus translates to river or stream, while
River horse. Sorry, that's not fair.
hippo does mean horse. So hippopotamus basically means river horse.
I'm going to stop interrupting you and ruining your stuff now. I'm sorry.
So this also means when you shorten the name to hippo, you're basically just calling it a horse in ancient Greek.
Imagine riding one of those.
A horse or a hippo?
Either. Both are scary,
I would
actually.
not ride a hippo.
No.
After this research, I won't go near one.
Which I will let you get on with, by the way. I'm going to stop interrupting.
It is the third largest land mammal after elephants and rhinoceros.
Okay.
Rhinoceri.
Mm-hmm.
On average, they grow to between 3.3 and 5 meters long and up to 5.2 feet. That's 1.6 meters tall, hooves to shoulders.
Or in my maths, like a kilometer.
100 meters tall.
Size of a 3-story building.
Females normally weigh around 1,400 kilograms, with the average male coming in at about 1,600 kilograms, according to the San Diego Zoo. A newborn hippopotamus weighs 55 pounds. That's 25 kilograms.
I thought you were going to say that's 25 human babies.
If they each
weighed 1 kilo.
Naturally, so their diet is obviously quite substantial. They'll consume about 35 kilograms of grass every day. They look for food at night, traveling up to 10 kilometers to get their fill. They also eat fruit, which they find on their nightly scavenge. During the day, they'll spend up to 16 hours in the water. This helps them to keep cool in the harsh African heat. Do you have a question?
No. Sorry, that's my interested face.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So moisture is critical for hippopotami survival. If their skin dries out, it will crack. They are also able to secrete a red fluid that is thought to act as an antibiotic, sunscreen, and skin moisturizer. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe she secretes red fluid.
Stop it.
At one point, the red fluid was mistaken for blood. People thought that hippopotami sweat their own blood.
Well, no. No, they don't. Like that's
if
hugely inefficient, James. They
even if
last.
that wasn't, that's not what's actually happening.
Yeah.
That'd still be freaking terrifying to
Wouldn't
see.
it be? Yeah.
Just red oozing out of their bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Their nostrils are located on the top side of the head, like at the end of their snout. This allows them to breathe and look at their surroundings while remaining otherwise submerged.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
A hippopotamus is able to stay underwater for 5 minutes without coming up for air. And while sleeping, they'll actually automatically bob up to the surface to get a breath before sinking back to the bottom.
5 minutes doesn't sound that long for a creature you associate with water.
Yeah.
Like, it's a long time for a mammal, but it doesn't sound... I don't know. You'd expect longer. I don't know.
They're also actually rather loud creatures. According to the San Diego Zoo, their snorts and grumbles come in at 115 decibels. So that would compare to being just under 5 meters from the speakers at a rock concert.
Someone at the San Diego Zoo has way too much time on their hands.
Going to rock concerts and goes, yeah, that sounds about right.
Sounds like a hippo. What? I said it sounds like a hippo. What's a hippo? That's my impersonation of a San Diego Zoo worker at a rock concert.
Okay, excellent. Your impressions are getting worse.
Worth interrupting for?
No. But hippopotami are incredibly territorial. They live in groups called bloats, or sometimes pods, or sieges. Sieges, yeah.
Not seizure.
Siege.
As in, I will lay siege to this castle.
So siege of hippopotami.
That makes sense.
These bloats or sieges usually consist of anywhere between 10 to 30 members on average. They actually have evidence of a group of up to about 200. But yeah, so 10 to 30 on
stuff
average.
Of nightmares.
Yeah, and they'll usually be led by a dominant male. So that big yawn that hippos are known for, it's actually an aggressive display of dominance. They're showing off their large, sharp teeth.
Makes sense.
Yeah. They have like tusks. It's
Yeah.
just, they're colossal.
It's crazy, isn't it? For herbivores, like
Yeah.
you think this thing exclusively eats plant matter.
Yeah.
Why does it have great big fangs like that?
I don't know.
Only like there could only be really one reason, and that's to mess stuff up.
Yeah,
you know?
pretty much.
Yeah.
They are short-tempered, and fights within the bloat will occur daily. Not only will they fight amongst each other, but hippos will attack anything they perceive as a threat. So this can include grazing cattle or even people, whether or on land or in a boat. They can be incredibly unpredictable. When they are likely to charge is anyone's guess. You can't tell when it's just going to come at you.
Great.
And hippopotami are deceptively fast, both in water and on land. They can run at about 23 kilometers per hour.
That's faster than you.
Yeah. So that's for short distances. But yeah, our running one's going to be incredibly difficult. In late 2014, a boat carrying school children across a river in Nigeria was attacked by a territorial hippopotamus. 12 children and a villager were killed.
See, yeah.
And this is astounding when you consider that hippopotami aren't really even able to swim.
What?
Yeah, they walk along the ground underwater, but they're capable of powerful propulsion, launching themselves forward with unbelievable force.
That's crazy. So what? They just go down to the bottom
And
so
then
they just launch off the bottom.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That again, one of those I only ever think of hippos in water.
Yeah.
And then you say they can't swim. You know, it doesn't.
I mean, you got to
compute.
think these things are massive.
Yeah.
1,800 kilograms at like when they get really large.
Yeah.
And they can run 23 kilometers per hour. They
Yeah.
have astounding leg muscles.
Yeah, it's like very true. It's like a juggernaut just charging at you.
Basically, if you enter hippopotamus territory, you should consider yourself at great risk.
Sounds fun.
So I think a lot of people, as I mentioned before, think of hippopotami as almost affectionate, docile, cow-like animals. But this is far from the case.
Don't pat one.
I just want you to picture a 1,600 kilogram angry hippo charging at you, mouth wide, with its massive tusks at the ready. Are you convinced that hippopotami are terrifying?
Yes, and I will have nightmares about them tonight. It's just, I mean, especially when you said like early explorers, this thing that'll just charge out of the water and take you down, that'll leap up on the bottom and take out your boat. And by the way, it sweats blood. Like it's just a demon, isn't it? It's just some devil from hell that's come back up to haunt Africa. It's as if there weren't enough dangerous things in Africa.
Yeah.
And the deadliest thing there is a herbivore.
Insane. Like the only thing that attacks it are crocodiles.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
It's just insane.
Crocodiles sound like they're doing us a favor. Maybe we should stop knocking crocodiles as much and get the
they
anti.
take care of the hippopotami problem.
That's right.
Actually, sort of on a bit of a low note, but I guess it's an interesting story and sort of goes to show how powerful the teeth on these things
Wait,
are.
is this lower than the 12 school kids were killed in a boat one? Or?
So when I was in year 7, we took a trip to the zoo.
Yes.
As an excursion, and we actually spent the whole week there. Sort of like it was, you know how you used to have swim week where you go to the pool. We went to the zoo for a week.
What school did you go to? That's crazy good.
Yeah, so we got to go to zoo school. So we got to see some of the backstage areas of the Adelaide Zoo, and as I mentioned, sort of talking before, zoos aren't really great.
No.
We have come a long way though.
Yes. Even in our lifetimes, it should be said, we've come a long, long way.
So we did see this part of the zoo, which is an old part of the zoo that no longer functions. It was when they held a hippo there many, many years ago. The hippo was there many years before I was in year 7 attending zoo school.
Yes.
So this is a long time ago.
It just sounds like you're trying to remove guilt.
No.
Like,
so
I have no part of this.
We have come a long way, but pretty much this was a stone building. Probably you people listening can't see the size of this room, but it's about the size of this room, which is what, for 2.5 meters square.
It's not big enough to house a hippo.
Yeah.
I would not look at this as hippo worthy.
So it had a door to an outside little pond, so it could go in the water,
just like your place.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it was a stone building, and you see the doorway. They had a single hippo in there. The doorway, it's an arched doorway, teeth marks, like
Ah.
dug in
Ah.
to the door. This thing got so bored,
Yeah.
it started to gnaw away at the door frame.
Oh, man.
And yeah, we're talking like really deep.
Like big gashes through
Yeah.
That's so
Over time, its teeth are just worn down on
It's
the
so
stone.
heartbreaking that it's like, imagine being so bored in your environment you'd rather eat the walls that
Yeah.
encase you. I mean, that's
So I'm glad we've come away from that. But
we-
I think we have a long way to go, and
I
we
think
need
we
to move
had to
towards.
improve on that, didn't we? Like we
Yeah.
couldn't have gotten worse than that, surely. I mean, that's so depressing.
Should we get some more interesting animal facts?
Yeah,
to
let's
just
do it.
Liven
Let's-
it up.
Yeah, and by the way, we should also say, like, again, my background is in environmental management and conservation. That's what I studied at uni. I do wholeheartedly implore you, please choose a conservation fund, even if it's the WWF. Donate some money, some
That's
time.
the World Wildlife Foundation.
no,
the wrestling change their
That's
abbreviation.
now wrestling entertainment, isn't it? WWE. Yeah, because they were sick of pandas getting brutally hit by chairs and ladders. So donate your time, donate your money, donate your attention, whatever it takes.
A beaver's teeth never stop growing, Damon.
Hmm.
It needs to chew on tree trunks and branches to keep them from getting too long.
There you go.
Yeah.
The king cobra is. Oh, sorry. There was.
You're not combining them again, are you?
Which I was about to. Weirdly, I was about to say the king cobra. That's really friendly cobras that wear bum bags and Adidas tracksuits. You know, hey, cobra. The king cobra has enough venom to kill an elephant.
Yeah.
The king cobra is also the largest venomous snake at up to 18 feet long, or roughly 2,800 meters, and can also rear itself up 6 feet off the ground, 6 feet roughly 30 centimeters, enough to tower over many humans. No, my maths is very bad.
1 kilometer. When you said venomous, that just made me think of this diagram I love. It's this picture to tell the difference between venomous and poisonous.
Okay.
There's a snake, picture of a snake biting someone's arm. It's like a drawing.
Yes.
This is venomous.
Yep.
It's biting you and secreting venom into your body.
Yes. Yep.
And the other one's a person's just taken a bite. There's bite marks out of a frog. It says poisonous.
Poisonous.
When you eat the thing, that's poisonous. When the thing tries to bite you, that's venomous.
I remember QI actually had a question like that once, saying, name a poisonous lizard. And everyone said the Gila monster. The one venomous type of lizard in the world that we know of. I think there's another one, the beaded lizard, I think it might be. Write in, correct me, donate to our Patreon. But the trick to the question was, we said poisonous, not venomous. There are types of reptile in the world that are lethal to eat.
Yeah.
But there's only 2 that I'm aware of that are known to be venomous.
Okay.
The Komodo dragon is one of them.
Yeah.
So, you would have heard this as a kid, because Komodo dragons are literally dragons that live on Earth, and they're huge and scary. You would have been told the same as me, that they've got bacteria that lives in their mouth.
Yes.
Like the saliva that drips is ridden in bacteria. New research and evidence actually concludes that they do produce a certain amount of poison within that bite as well.
Venom.
Yep.
Not poison. Venom.
Venom.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
If you eat their saliva, you will also die, but it is produced by them in their mouths.
Yeah, okay.
They can also produce virgin births.
Okay.
It's called parthenogenesis. It's known amongst a few species, most of them reptiles, I think a few amphibians. But basically the females in extreme cases don't need a male to fertilize an egg.
Don't need no man.
They don't need no man. Strong, independent woman.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's actually how they've colonized a lot of islands in the South Pacific. They just get washed out to sea, land on an island, and just go, I reckon I'll have some kids.
Yeah.
Just keep pumping out kids and habitate the whole island.
Fair enough.
Isn't it crazy? Yeah. It's good. You got any more for me?
A chameleon's tongue
Yes.
can be as long as its body.
Yeah, but again, not impressive. They're only small.
Well, no.
Next fact. No 2 tigers have the exact same stripes.
Oh. Is that like fingerprints?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know why, but it makes me think of a really, really dumb joke.
Okay, go on.
Are you
Let's
ready
end
for
on a
really-
joke, shall we?
It's a little
Let's wrap this up.
Let's wrap it up. Okay, this is a little bit of a visual joke, but you'll still get you're listening to it, you'll still understand it. Okay, so audience, I'm waving at James right now. Okay, why doesn't the Queen wave with this hand?
I don't know why.
Because it's my hand.
That's not an animal joke.
I didn't say it was. I said it was a bad joke.
All right, people. Thank you for listening.
James
to Are You
cannot bear
Convinced?
any more. He's done.
If after that you still want to donate to our Patreon, I would be really shocked and appreciative. But no, thank you for listening. Are you convinced by our arguments this week? Do you think that pandas are just rubbish?
Yeah, the idea of pandas.
Idea of pandas.
Yeah.
Do you think that hippopotami are terrifying?
No, of course you do.
Do you have any interesting animal facts you'd like to share? Animal stories? Let us know in the comments or on our social media accounts.
And you can get us on our social media, Twitter and Instagram at Are You Convinced. You can also search Are You Convinced on Facebook. The link is www.facebook.com/areyouconvinced.podcast. Please do consider our Patreon, www.patreon.com/areyouconvinced. We need to keep the lights on and we need to pay for storage space for the data we create with this podcast. It has to go somewhere. It's basically got to be rented. So give us some money and we'll keep doing this. And I promise the jokes will improve.
Or maybe just stop.
Or maybe just stop. We don't know. Yeah.
And if you are enjoying the podcast, it'd really help us out if you leave us a review on iTunes. That helps us to get noticed by other people that like listening to podcasts. And you could also tell your friends, convince your friends to listen.
Convince your friends, convince your pets. Hi, Mishka.
Hey, Mishka. Hope you're doing well.
Hope you're not hiding in furniture.
Don't do that.
No, seriously, don't. We had a heart attack. We were panicked. I met my neighbours that night. Because I knocked on their door and I'm like, we've got a really tiny kitten and we can't find it. Do you have it? And they're like, why would we have your cat, dude? And I'm like, oh, we're all out of ideas. And it was in the furniture.
Furniture.
In the furniture.
I get it.
I don't.
Furniture. I get a bad joke too, okay?
We're wrapping it up.
I get a bad joke too.
What are we talking about next week, James?
Next week, we are doing Where Are They Now?
Woo!
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about famous people who have gone on to have perhaps more interesting lives after their fame.
Yes. Absolutely. Are you going to do some homework and bring someone in like you did this week with the panda, or are you just going to talk about...
Bring a famous person in. The only famous person I know is myself.
Our very own Z Great Celebrity.
Yeah.
That's right.
Actually, that's not true. I know more famous people than myself.
No, you've got a few stories that you've told me.
Yeah.
A few good ones.
Maybe next week.
We won't repeat any of them on air, but there's a few good stories that I've heard.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks again for listening. We hope you tune in again next week.
Yep. And until next week, goodbye, guys.
See ya.